So the next item under old business is change of zone 1855, Kirk Salvo, KH Sussex LLC. This is for a change of zone from AR1 to C3. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of the change of zone for reasons 1 through 9.
Any questions of council?
Janelle, on these, as we come through them, can you, or do you have the ability, you know where I'm going with that?
Yep.
Just put them up on the screen so we all can get the visual, if you don't mind. Become a little predictable, so that's good.
And in this instance, it's multiple parcels. As you can see in parts of the blue and the yellow, there are multiple parcels that were proposed to be rezoned with this application.
Any questions of council? Hey, Mr. Moore, if you'd read the short title.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. An ordinance to amend the comprehensive zoning map of Sussex County from an AR1 agricultural residential district to a C3 heavy commercial district for a certain parcel of land lying and being in Indian River 100, Sussex County, containing 3.51 acres more or less, for reasons given by planning zoning numbers 1 through 9.
Mr. Cole, this is your district, you're up.
We make motions in the affirmative, so I'll make a motion to approve CZ1855.
Motion, Mr. Cole.
Second.
Second, Mr. Arlett. Any questions on the motion? We will take the vote. Mr. Cole.
My vote will be for denial, and part of the reason is this intersection currently is going to be revamped and a lot of different, there's going to be some changes. There's also been a lot of approvals of parcels in the area. And so I think that kind of changed my mind on this. And so at the time the applicant sought DelDOT input in this application, the applicant was seeking to change the zone for B1. The applicant's current application is for a change to C3. DelDOT did not consider this based on a C3 application, and therefore its comments and requirements do not necessarily accurately reflect what is appropriate for this intended use. Number two, all of the other corners of this intersection are zoned AR1. A rezoning to this C3 is inconsistent with the surrounding zoning classifications. Number three is a change of zone to C3 will create a precedent for future C3 zoning and applications in this area. And like we just noted, that all the other three intersections have no commercial activity at this point, and this could set a precedent for other applications that would be similar. So, number four, while there is a significant residential growth in the area, there are no other major businesses located at this intersection of Route 24 and Angola Road. This zoning would be out of character with the surrounding properties, and it does not promote the orderly growth of the county. Number five, C3 is too intensive a zoning category for this area. Although the applicant has stated that the intended uses are limited, the change of zone would potentially allow for more intensive uses that are not compatible with the intersection and its surrounding area. Number six, a change of zone to C2 would have been more appropriate with the existing use. While most of the site is currently used for commercial purposes, including a conditional use for a boat storage and other similar uses, this rezoning is substantially different. It is not a reasonable expansion of the prior conditional use on this site. Therefore, the proposed rezoning does not meet the general purpose of the zoning code by promoting the orderly growth, convenience, prosperity, and welfare of the county. Number seven, the purpose of the C3 district is to provide larger scale auto-oriented retail and service businesses. This may be appropriate location for smaller scale businesses that serve the community and neighborhood, but the intersection and surrounding areas are not appropriate for large scale retail and service businesses that are permitted in a C3 zone. It is not appropriate to start that trend of a large scale uses in this area, in this intersection, spreading it out to all four corners. While there is currently a boat storage and sales business at the site, it is small in nature and limited with conditions imposed as part of a conditional use approval. The existing conditional use is not the same thing as a large-scale retail service business. Number eight, although it has been argued that the 2008 comprehensive plan allows this rezoning, it does not mandate that the property be rezoned for commercial uses. According to the plan and the future land use plan map contained in it, the current AR1 zoning is just as appropriate as any commercial zoning is at this location. So for those reasons, I would vote no.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Arlett?
We continue to have this ongoing challenge within our county regarding we approve residential, but yet we don't approve commercial. And I think you have to do both. And I think in the end, there are proper locations, and then there are not proper locations with regard to these applications. I think our job and our role is to determine what is a proper location for an application. And if I recall, this one here is regarding, the testimony was that of a gas station. Is that correct?
Correct.
That was, I think, the testimony that was provided to us. Though the code, granted they could choose what they wanted, if approved, within the C3 confinements. But nonetheless, the testimony is provided as a gas station. So though I do appreciate Mr. Cole and his concerns with regard to, as he just communicated, this is the perfect location and the perfect time, as DelDOT is going to be improving this location in this corner, and therefore it only makes sense to do something now, as DelDOT is going to be improving it. And I will heed the advice and suggestion of the Planning and Zoning Commission. As they have approved, I too will approve per their recommendations.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Burton?
I agree with Mr. Cole's assessment of the C3 zoning being inappropriate with the intensity that comes along with the C3 zoning. I agree with Mr. Arlett's comment that the area has a need for some commercial zoning. My concern is the difference between the C3 and the C2. And my belief is that the C3 zoning in this location would be inappropriate, so my vote is no on this application.
Mr. Wilson?
No, I vote yes for P and Z.
Thank you, sir. I also agree that Mr. Cole has some valid points, Mr. Arlett has some valid points. C3 is a pretty big thing you can do in that area. C2 have been more appropriate, I think. I know DelDOT's going to do some intersection changes there at some point in time, but that's not tomorrow morning. And that concerns me, especially down the Angola Road area. I'm going to vote no, motion defeated.